What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, all the likes, all the comments, all the feedback. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. I know it's been a minute, uh, been a couple of days. I know I try to upload at least once or twice a day, just depending on how I feel really. But usually when I do lives, I end up chopping up the lives up anyways. And that's what I put up out there anyways. I just wanted to touch up on a few things, and a lot of these videos that I'm uploading of Charles, I gotta go through them. I either deleted them or I just really haven't uploaded them. I'm gonna go through them and chop them up and get the good parts out. The parts of him talking about, because a lot of people are still questioning, man, was he indulging, man? And he clearly says it in the first couple of interviews, that he was indulging. He was, I don't think he was taking it by force, but indulging, I would say yes. I mean, just the video that I uploaded, I'm questioning him about those messages. Those messages where he clearly says him and Mark and Mendenhall had something going on. What's going on, God Soldier? Yeah, I'm trying to, bro. Hopefully, once I get back on these fusions, man, this medicine that I was taking, uh, because I'm like the fucking Tin Man, man. Like the Tin Man, I need to get my joints greased up, man. And that's what's killing me, man. Like I can barely fucking like move, man, without, you know, pain. It sucks. But I deal with it, man. It's a blessing and a curse, man. It's a blessing and a curse. The curse is that fuck, it's deteriorating me, right? But the blessing is, man, that I get to spend time with my family, man. My first kids that I had, I was always working, man, multiple shifts to provide while my wife stayed at home. I when I could work, man, believe me, I would work, man. I was an asset to any company I worked for, man. Never got fired. Uh, I always got raises. Even when people said, "Hey, they don't give raises out here," I always got raises. Not because I was a liability, because I was an asset, man. Mentally and physically. So it's to me, it's a blessing and a curse, man. It is what it is. So that's why I haven't really been uploading, man. Hopefully, let me see, I got 7 more days, man. On the 30th, uh, I go get this fusion medication, which I was on for like about 2 years, man. And these doctors, I get doctors it seems like I get new doctors every 6 months, man. And every doctor wants to try something new. It's like I'm a guinea pig. I'm like, man, just leave stuff alone, man. Look, if this is one, it's just, keeping me going somewhat. Leave it alone. Stop messing with my medication. Every time I go to the doctor, it's a new condition. Instead of, trying to treat me with the condition that I have. I used to do machine work, man. I used to be a machinist. I used to move these coils, man, like they will be on rollers, spools, and load up the machine, fix the machine to adjustments, the calibration, the tolerance levels. And I would make medical springs. The springs I would make, there would be for like certain medical devices. Perfect one, the one, I would make one spring, and it would be for that patch that people use to put on their arm, to test their cholesterol or to test their blood for the diabetics. There's like a little patch that they wear nowadays, and inside those patches, there's a little mechanism in there that has springs in there, and those springs got to get produced somewhere. So I love my job, man. When I worked as a machinist, man, why? Because I work by myself. I'll get the work order. The work order would be like, hey, this is how many springs you have to produce, and you go to town on it, man. You just every now and then you just check the tolerances, make sure that you're producing good medical springs. How you doing, V? Good morning. What's up, Ronnie? Yeah, man. Shit, it had good benefits, man. Yeah, it had good benefits. Them benefits is what's paying me right now. Long-term disability through my employer, and I ain't worked like in 5 years. But when you get good jobs, man, you know, they come with good benefits. And that's the thing, man, that it's always possible, man. It's always possible to get a I'm not gonna say, I became a millionaire. Hey, I was able to, provide for my family and let my wife stay home, take care of the kids. And that's all that matters, man. You can't really measure success and wealth by monetary gain all the time. Because a lot of people can have millions and billions in bank account, they ain't happy. I'm happy. I might not have all those millions in the bank account, but I'm happy in life. I'm content. Yeah, who wouldn't want more? I'd be sitting here lying and say, "Oh man, I don't want no more. Fuck, I want as much as I could get." But I'm limited, man. I should show y'all a screenshot of the revenue you make off of YouTube. I'm gonna show it to y'all, man. I'm gonna show it to y'all. I don't want y'all to think that uh I'm making money off of YouTube, and uh YouTube is YouTube. I do this for the YouTube money and whatnot. Nah, man. I'm gonna show it to y'all. I don't want y'all to think that I do this for the money, or maybe everybody else is getting lucky. I'm not. Yeah, I need to. I need to start taking care of my health. I need to stop depending on this medication, thinking that it's going to do something for me, and in reality, it's just killing me. Because the medication, every medication is it's like, it's sad. 'Cause I go to these fusion every month, and they put you in a they put you in a room with everybody else that's sick. You know, but a lot of these other people have cancer. You know, and you look at them and you're like, man, fuck, at least I'm not that way yet. You know what I mean? But a lot of these people that are going through cancer, they have a chance of beating it. There's a cure. You know, the cure for cancer is a radiology treatment. Chemo. Good morning, Kinte. So even if you're diagnosed with some type of cancer, as long as they catch it early, you know, sometimes it's treatable, sometimes it's not. But the possibility of them giving you something to try to cure it, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it, man. But it sucks that my condition that it's uncurable. There's nothing you can do. It is what it is. Y'all can Google it up, man. It's like there's no cure for this shit. It's just, the best thing you can do is catch it at a young age. But having parents, you know, that are not from this country come to this country to work, they're not they're not educated to know medical standards and shit like that. Not like the what's going on, Texas. So it kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Because you just have to go along with it, man. That's why and plus the medication I take, man, it's made out of it's made out of mice. They make the medication out of mice's protons. So every time I get this medication, man, it's like it makes me sick. Until maybe after like a 6 months period, I'm on it, and then my body starts getting used to it. But for the first 6 months, man, my body's like trying to fight it because it's like, it's medication that's basically going in you to fight your own system. Because that's what I have. I have an autoimmune disease. An autoimmune disease it ain't no different than like a HIV disease. Because the only difference is that I can't transmit it. My virus ain't transmittable. It's a genetic disorder. It's an autoimmune disease. When you talk about an autoimmune disease, that means your own body is attacking itself. Your own white cells are attacking your good cells. But it's just your own body's producing this gene that your good cells are attacking it, but it's basically attacking its own good cells. So that's why they call it an autoimmune. Yeah, like no, see, diabetes, Just Jay. It's called ankylosing spondylitis, and it's a specific gene that people carry. It's let me show y'all the gene, man. The gene that it carries. I'm gonna try it out, bro. I'm gonna look into it, man, because I'm really tired of depending on this medicine, and it's gonna come to a point where my body gets used to this medicine, and it's not gonna have the effect that it did before. Because it's like every medication that once you take it, you stop it, you take it again, you stop it. It kind of messes up with your immune system. So this time that I might go and get this medication again, my body might not take to it. That's why it's not. They don't like for you to be coming on off, taking it off, but the medication I take, man, it's expensive, man. And I have to be applying for like the city plan, the city healthcare plan, which is you have to go up there and first come first serve. Uh, you don't see these doctors to every 6 months because there's a long list. And when you do see these doctors, man, it's a new doctor. But hey, I'm not complaining, man. You know, if I have to wait in line a little bit, few extra time to get my medication to keep me going, fuck it. I'll wait out there in line because it sucks. You know what I mean, man? When you go to them clinics, uh, I'm pretty sure Mark goes to the same clinics that I type of do, man. And you see them people in there with cancer, you see them people with their ports. And then sometimes you don't see these people no more, man. And you're man, hopefully they beat it. Or maybe they did it. Because then you don't see these people till your next treatment, which is basically every month. So, you don't really you don't it's almost like jail, man. Everybody's in there talking, "Hey, what you in here for, man? What you in here for?" When you put certain people in like in a holding environment, man, everybody wants to know what everybody's up to, man. It's like in a jail cell. What you in here for? Same thing in the doctor room. Hey, what you here for? What you got? Oh, I got cancer of the colon. Or I got lung cancer. Or I got some kind of cancer in my bones. So it's depressing, man. It's like fuck. It's like, but if everybody would just catch it, man, at a young age, take care of y'all's health, you know, because what I have is genetic. It's nothing that I could have done or prevented. It was passed down through my mom's side. She has the gene, and it's a gene that's just passed on. It messes it gets one kid and messes the other kid. And the gene is that it triggers at a certain age. Something they don't know what triggers the condition. But I can remember going to Mexico on summer vacation when I was 12 years old. My mom says, "No, you're getting in trouble in school, 6th grade, before middle school." She's like, "No, you're already getting in trouble. You're not going to be out here all summer long by yourself." Which I was, my parents were working, my older brother was working. My brother was already on the street, so she already figured that I was going to be hanging around with my other brother. So she said, "No, you're going to Mexico for the summer." So I go to summer for Mexico, and during the process, my grandma tells me, "Don't drink the water." She goes, "You're not used to this water. Don't drink none of the water. If you see water inside the refrigerator, don't drink it." She goes, "Drink from the plastic water jug that's by the kitchen. Drink from that one." Right. But I had been playing outside, and that water jug was kind of, room temperature compared to the one that was in the refrigerator. So I seen my cousin drink from the refrigerator one. And I did the same shit. You know what? I didn't know better. So I got hepatitis B from drinking the dirty water. It's not really dirty water, right? But it's the water's my immune system was weak to begin with without me knowing. And then me drinking the water from Mexico that I had never drank water from, it gave me a hepatitis B. Because when I came, uh, right away, my grandma told my mom, "Hey, he's not feeling good. He's already been a couple of days. The doctors over here, they say they don't know what they don't. They say that you need to take him back over there." So my mom, she came, picked me up, uh, went back, and went to the hospital. She sent me to this little clinic in West Dallas, and the doctor said, "No, you got to take him to Parkland." And then that's when they said, "Oh, it was hepatitis because my body turned yellow, man. My eyes and my whole body was turning yellow because of the hepatitis. It was B from drinking the water from Mexico." So that's the only thing that I can say triggered my condition. Because the doctor said it has to be some kind of infection that enters your body that triggers it. That people can live with this condition. You can have this genetic gene in you, but it has to be something that triggers it. An infection, like basically hepatitis, what infected me triggered my gene to go off. And ever since then, I've been having issues with my back, my bones. Uh, but like I always said, I've always done uh strenuous jobs, jobs that, require you to be on your feet all day long, moving stuff around. Uh, so the pain to the body was, hey, hey, it's the name of the game. You're working in a heavy duty environment. Your body's gonna hurt. You're gonna be sore. Your back's gonna hurt. Your legs are gonna hurt. So I would tell the doctors, and the doctors would look at me and be like, "Oh man, you're probably just looking for medication to get high off." They would see me with my tattoos, my grill, and they'd be like, "You're just a seeker." They would tell me, "Oh man, you're just seeking. You're seeking for drugs." So all along, I went like that, until I turned 40 years. I couldn't take it no more. Right? I'm like, man, I can't take this shit no more. So finally, the doctor said, "All right, man, you got pinched nerves, you got bulging discs, you got all this in your back. So back surgery it is, right?" Because the doctors all this long have been telling me, "Hey, it's all muscular, man. It's just your back. You do heavy labor jobs. It's the name of the game. You're not sitting down. You're doing physical labor jobs." So they said back surgery. So I got back surgery, right? 2 weeks after back surgery, I can't fucking move. Literally, I can't fucking, move. I'm stuck. So I go back to the back surgeon. The back surgeon's like, fuck, he's looking at me. He's like, well, what's wrong? Why can't you move? I said, I don't know. You tell me, why can't I fucking move? So I'm stuck, man. After the back surgery, I can't move for a couple of months. Then my wife tells me, she goes, man, you need to go get your blood checked. I'm like, what do you mean go get my blood checked? They've already checked my blood. Look how many times I've gone to the doctor and they check my blood. She goes, no, they got to check out for other conditions. So you got to go to a rheumatologist. You got to go to a specialist. So I made an appointment for the rheumatologist specialist. She did blood work. She comes back. She goes, due to your MRIs, your blood work, you didn't need no back surgery. She goes, the back surgery just fucked you up more. You didn't need it. You've been misdiagnosed for so long. She goes, I'm sorry, man, but at your age, at 40, it's kind of a it's kind of hard to reverse the damage that's been done. She goes, man, if you would have came in here, you know, minimum at least maybe 5, maybe even 10 years ago, we could have done something for you. But at this point, your bones are already fusing together. So when I say fusing, you know, your bones are supposed to move freely, right? Your bones are supposed to move freely. Your knee moves freely, your fingers move freely, your wrist moves, your shoulder, all your joints. But when fusion starts happening, then bones start bridging over each other. Them gaps, fusion starts happening. So once them bones start coming together, your limited on motion is gone. The only way in there is going in there, opening it up, and shaving all that shit off. So basically, bone over bone. She goes, man, it's the damage is done. I mean, there's ways, but I mean, who wants to go through all that? They will have to go through all your fucking bones and shave all the excess bone that's been created over where it's fused at. And she goes, your tailbone from your groin area, it's fused. So basically, from my lower back all the way to my front groin, it's it's fusing. She goes, "That's it is what it is." You know, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can't unreverse it. Yeah, they do, man. They do, Kente. But it sucks, man, because it's like my condition is just eating me from the inside, man. So I practically look normal from the outside, but from the inside, I'm deteriorating. But the people from that suffer cancer, man, they're deteriorating from the outside. You can see them, right? You can actually see their baldness. You can see, you know, their body shriveling up. Uh, you can actually see it, man. You can actually see it on the cancer patient when they're going through their treatments, their phases. You know, you can see them when they're recuperating. You know, because I've seen it, man. I've seen, I've been there. You know, when I've seen a person get there, because the cancer patients only go for a limited time. You know, they go for 3, 6, 9 months, up to a year, but periodically through that year. You know, every 3 months, every 3 months. So you get to see these people. You know, on a monthly basis. You know, I've been lucky to see, you know, a couple of females get there, and you can see, you know, they're bald. You know, they're starting. They have their full hair, and after the first couple of sessions, they start getting bald, and then you see them hairless after a couple of months, and then after a couple of months, you start seeing them grow a little bit of hair. Like they start getting a little bit progression. They start picking up weight. It's like you see it, man. And so I'm like, man, it's at least they get a chance to get back to being normal. You know what I mean? Some way. You know, it's the chance that they're taking with the chemicals. You know, them chemicals, you know, it's you're putting chemicals in your body, man. That's why it's a chance that you take that you might not make it from those chemicals. Your body not might from the chemotherapy, your body might not be that strong to withheld and keep you going. So it's a chance too that you take. You know what I mean, man? But man, you know, I would love to take that chance. If they told me, man, hey, take this right here, man, and it's a 50-50 chance, man, fuck it, I'll fucking take it. You know, because it's better than nothing. Yeah, I need to. Imma stop, man. I'm it sucks, you know, I was gonna do this video, but, it's just sometimes I don't even feel like, you know, honestly, because it's like, why to be mad at people, you know what I mean? It's like, I gotta deal with my own shit right now, but I still gotta keep what I started, you know, and it's kind of because it's not over yet, you know, I just can't I don't wanna pressure the victim, you know, he probably got his own fucking problems just like I got my own problems, you know what I mean? So it's like, right now is not the time for me to reach out to the victim. I know where he's at, I know who he is, uh, and like I said before, I'm just gonna let time take his time. That victim's putting on the back burner, I'm putting him on the back burner because, like I said before, Mark right now, he's not at the point he's not making too much of a noise. He really isn't, and, I gotta use their momentum against them. So when they do pick up momentum, I gotta use it against them. So if I throw my ace out there right now and they pick up momentum, I won't have nothing. So it's a marathon, you know, it's not who gets there first, but how we get there. I'm not in no rush, you know. If y'all want Mark to pick up the momentum, uh, that'll be better for me because that way once the victim sees momentum going towards the negative way, because the victim, you know, he probably thinks, oh, Mark ain't. You got to understand, the victim probably thinks Mark is not on YouTube. As far as I know, the victim doesn't know Mark is on YouTube talking about this shit. The victim doesn't know Mark is on YouTube talking about this. The victim, that's the thing. The victim thinks he's out there in the clear that, hey, nobody else is talking about this. This guy's just probably just, but he doesn't know and understand that Mark's on YouTube already talking about this. That's how I found him. I was able to locate him because Mark jumped on YouTube talking about the documentary. That's why I was able to find him. But he doesn't know that. He thinks I'm just probably some guy that watched the documentary and is out there looking for him. He doesn't know that this shit's been going on YouTube for 6-7 months. He's not aware of that. He is not aware of that. None of his family are aware of that. You would have to actually go on YouTube and Google that for it to pop up on his feed. He's not watching what we're watching. And for any of our videos to pop up on his feed to be like, oh, they're talking about that documentary. But I need Mark to pick up momentum. Mark picks up momentum. It's more of a use that momentum against him. That's why right now. I'm concentrating on Hips, on Burnett, and whoever else was in that documentary that I can find. Because a lot of people are like, oh man, nobody, none of the victims or any of the witnesses has said anything. I mean, like Jonathan Schwartz couldn't said it no better. Jonathan Schwartz clearly said, Mark was this, Mark was that. And Jonathan Schwartz wasn't no victim. He was the director that gathered all this information. Basically, what I'm doing. Jonathan Schwartz, as the director, gathered all the information before he made his documentary. He has he has the reports. Now you're good, V. I'm gonna probably try it out because I'm a lot of that meat. It's not good for and a lot of the food like bread and a lot of stuff that we eat is not really good. It's not, and it's and the start and the bad part about it is that it's genetic. Like my daughter, she has the same gene, right? And she's always complaining, man. She's always complaining about her knees. And that's, when I was young, uh, that's how I started. Right. My first I remember when I was like in fourth grade, they gave me a key to the elevator at school. Because I couldn't go up the stairs. Right. Because the doctor said my knees were swollen up. But that was just back then, that was just, part of the symptoms. It was back, when they diagnosed it as a juvenile, it's called a juvenile rheumatology, uh, what the fuck? Rheumatoidal juvenile rheumatoid, like the rheumatitis with your bones. They diagnose you with the juvenile. So it sucks, but with my daughter, I already got her uh seeing the doctors and that way her condition, since she has the gene, it doesn't she can keep it under control because they give you the medication. once you take this medication and you start it at a young age, you'll be all right. You should be good. If you catch this condition at a young age, say 18, 19, 20, or your parents are aware and they're like, okay, we gotta get them checked. I have it, they gotta go get checked. If you're aware of it, you can catch it at a young age and prevent the damage. Because it's like AIDS medication, man. People that have AIDS, Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson got AIDS back in the 90s, and that man is still living. The medication, as long as you treat it at a early stage, you can win it. And that's what I tell my daughter. I'm like, man, you got to continue going to your appointments. Stay on the medication. Don't miss it. It is what it is. You're gonna be on this medication for the rest of your life, but hey, it's better than being in my position, not knowing to when it's unrepairable, it's unreversible, it's unpreventable. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. As much as I mean, as much as I wanted to, you know what I mean? There's nothing I can do. No company's gonna hire me. No company's gonna take the chance. Not even Walmart sitting down. Not even. I'd be missing too much work. Uh, I'll probably be good for like about an 8-hour shift of 1 week out of a 40-hour shift, and that'd be it. I'll probably give them and that's it. And probably catch me in another week or so. Because if my body hurts by me not doing nothing, but once I start moving, that's it, man. It feels like I worked out. If right now I feel like if I've been working out and I ain't did nothing, so it kind of sucks. You know what I mean? It is what it is. That's why sometimes I don't feel like arguing or getting mad or just fucking raging, or cussing people out, or it's just I guess because I already got too much negativity. I already got to deal with too much negativity with my health, that is like it's kind of hard. It's like, man, I don't feel like getting up and going over and talking shit. It's like, but I know I've committed myself to it, and it's like I don't want people to think that I'm giving up, but at the same time, it's time. Time is gonna tell the truth. You know, like I said, the victim doesn't know Mark is on YouTube. Just like Hip said, Mark is on YouTube talking about something that happened about 30 years ago. Hips, you got to remember, Hips feels that way, and all he got is his mom and dad. Hips doesn't have a wife. Hips doesn't have kids. Hips doesn't have grandkids. So you would think, why do you think victims don't want to come out? Because if the victims don't come out, then the perpetrators definitely ain't going to come out. The victim is betting that Mark is not on YouTube talking about that shit, but Mark is. Mark brought that documentary back out, but the victim doesn't know that we're talking about it on YouTube. He don't know. He don't know. He knows. Yes, they know about the family knows about the documentary. The family knows, but the family doesn't know that Mark is on YouTube currently talking about this. And I don't want to press that issue just yet. That's why I'm putting him on the back burner. I need Mark to pick up momentum, and I'm gonna use their momentum against them. That's the best that I can do. Show them like, hey, I know y'all guys don't want to talk about it, but these guys are making a mockery and they're talking about it. I don't know. These guys, he can come out and start sending everybody cease and desist letters. I'm telling y'all, the victim is in a position, his family uh is in the position, a political position. When I mean political, councilman, mayor, uh statesman. It's they don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't want to push the issue with the victim, and the victim really doesn't see too much momentum. So I need if I once I see the momentum, then I can be like, say, look, man, look, I know you don't want to talk about it, but these guys are talking about it. You gotta use see, I've been thinking, you gotta sit there and think. You gotta use the momentum against them. And the June, and Mark, uh, I guess, battle, all that is because of Dante. You know, Dante went on that racist rant, right? About we don't care what the black man does to the white man. Basically referring to we don't care what Mark was doing to Hips, Mendel Hart, or anybody else. That's what that context meant. When Dante said, we don't care what the black man does to the white man in prison. Who cares? That's him saying, well, who cares what Mark did to Hips in prison? Who cares what Mark did to the victim in prison? So I questioned myself. Somebody that went on a racist rant like that to protect Mark on what he was doing, and now you're trying to step so-called back away from him, that you try to put a buffer. You try to put middlemen between you and Mark. But we all know what happens when you put middlemen. Every time I was on the streets and I put a middleman to do stuff for me, I would 9 out of 10 times it wouldn't go the way I wanted. Yeah, it would separate me from the cops, right? I would be somewhat distant from the cops, right? But at the same time, I would lose money. I would get burnt by putting middlemen. Perfect example. How would I put middlemen? One, hey, you serve the customers and you get a percentage of what you sell. Right? I'm putting these buffers in between me and the cops and the robbers. Because when you're on the streets, you got to worry about two people: the jack boys and the cops. The dope fiends, as long as you treat them good, they will not snitch on you. They will be loyal to you. But once you start beating up the dope fiends, slapping them around, they're going to gain animosity towards you. So on the streets, it's the jack boys and the cops you worry about the most. So you try to put people between you to buffer. Same thing happened with Dante. He tried to put all these people to buffer between him and Mark. He put June. Okay. Mark's biggest question was like, why are you getting some of my money for being the middleman? If I was doing business directly with Dante, now I got to cut you in my piece of the pie? For what? I don't see no interviews. I don't see nobody paying me to go on their show. I don't see what a typical manager does is what you're doing for me. Because basically what you're doing is trying to bash me. And now I got to pay you on what this guy's paying me to keep you in the mix, to keep you relevant. But when you put buffers in between or so-called middlemen, it never works out too good, man. It never works as planned when you put middlemen. Why? Because once you put the middleman, two things going to happen. The supplier might not like dealing with the middleman, right? Your plug. Your plug might not want to deal with the middleman. Second, the customers might not like the guy, the middleman. The middleman might slap him around too much. While you would treat him good and love him, show him love, when they would come in short pocket with a pocket full of coins, you would still serve them. But the middleman, instead of serving them, would pocket that change and kick him out the trap. Or if they would, toss him a crumb. Instead of saying, all right, bro, how much is it? $7? Here, I'll give you a 10-piece. Come back later. I know you have some more money. Instead of doing them right. But the middleman is not going to have that same kind of empathy and sympathy as the main dude. June didn't like Mark. So now they're beefing, right? Because now Mark's like, why do I got to give you money? So June's and Mark's problem came out of money. Their fallout was over money. It wasn't over June exposing him. No, it was over the money. Dante trying to cut ties with Mark. Mark asking June, hey, can I get Dante's phone? I didn't even watch the video. Somebody sent me the link. I clicked on it, and I read the title or in the thumbnail. I'm like, oh, these guys been fighting. They've been arguing over the money. Over the money. Their fallout was because Dante was paying Mark directly. Now, once June jumped into the picture, Dante ain't going to dip into his pocket to pay June. Dante's going to keep his percentage. So if me and Mark were going 50-50, I'm going to keep my percentage and I'm chopping out Mark's 50 and giving 25-25. Right? Mark ain't too happy because Mark's probably asking, why you put this dude? Why you putting this dude as the middleman? Me and you were supposed to be working this out. If I was Mark, I'd be pissed off too. Because that's the promoter. Your percentage stays the same, but my percentage gets cut to cover this new promoter's cost. Well, it should have been Mark keeping the 50% and the promoter splitting the promoter fee because it's two promoters now. It's not two artists. But I guess Mark, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's that to me is like, and if you have so-called beef with them, why do you continue doing lives with each other? Why not come and answer some of the real questions over here, Mark? Answer some of the real questions on this new documentary that we see. What was going through your mind when you told that guy to go to the shitter box? Later on, I'm gonna play a part of the New Mexico documentary where a guy is chilling and he goes, they had this one guy dancing on top of the table, and after a few minutes, you could smell what was happening to that guy. And one guy came and asked the guy, hey, you want some, bro? He goes, no, I don't want none of that. But the guy said you could smell what was happening. He said you didn't have to hear. You didn't have to see. He said you could smell what was happening to that guy. And this is an old convict saying that. I'm going to put up the New Mexico riot later on, where that guy clearly says they had a dude up there in the back dancing on the table, but a few minutes later, you could smell what was happening to him. Not hear or see. He said smell. Smell. So as a human being, what gets a person aroused to that kind of, I smell a girl wearing that, that Bath and Body Works, some kind of, fruit, smells beautiful, right? You would think, you'd be like, man, yeah, sure smells good, you know what I mean? But as another man, sometimes, man, when I used to work, I used to take off my steel toe boots and my feet be kicking. Or working an 8-hour shift or a 12-hour shift and getting home and taking off your clothes, you smell like ass. That's just the way men smell. I mean, men that are out there working, even you could take a shower when you get up, put deodorant, do all this, lotion, but by the time you get home, you're going to smell like ass, bro. So if a man can't stand his own order, I don't see why another man can get aroused, man, by the order of defecation. Why the order of defecation makes people want to throw up. Want to throw up their breakfast or their lunch or whatever. Man, sometimes you can be out there jogging and you step on a dog's paw and you first instinct is gag. That's your normal instinct. You step on it, you smell it, you get that whiff of that, and you're like, whoa, you want to gag. So what runs through the person's mind that you get that whiff and you get aroused? That's the stuff that I want to know Mark questioning and answering to. Not him being mad that Dante's paying June for being his manager or babysitting him. Instead of Mark, hold on, guys. Yes, hello? Yes. Nice to meet you.
We've went against it.
12/21/81.
And there's always gonna be, it's from the old school, there's severe consequences for that.
Prisons in the South, a white guy pretty much has it hard. He'll be tested much quicker than a black inmate.
There was this guy who was here before. He was a blood, and in Alabama, you know what I'm saying, a lot of places, you know what I'm saying, they don't believe in a white guy being a blood.
I had feelings for him, lust, even at the time that he was still claiming to be a blood. But by us acknowledging him as a blood, I pushed that lust to the side. So for me to meet him, and he was already a member of Bloods, I felt like, well, hell, he had to show some type of heart. I put it like that. He had to been prove himself. So I accepted him. During this time, it was football season, and every motherfucking prison gonna watch football. So the captain and the lieutenant, they come around and do daily inspections of the whole dorm.
So this guy in particular, he had painted a lot of satanic stuff on the wall inside one of the dorms here.
They go off. I mean, they have a fit. Until we find out who vandalized his room, there'll be no football. Another blood come to me, say, hey man, you know who put that shit in that room? I said, nah, who? So he tells me, he say, Blood did it, the little white boy. So I'm like, what? So we stepped down on him. You know what I'm saying? Let him know how it's fucked up, because he put all us in a fucked up position to where if someone in the dorm wanted to harm him, then it involves us. I tell him, I say, hey man, he can't be blood anymore. So I walk him around the prison compound. We talk, you know, and I basically let him know, you know what I'm saying, how I had felt betrayed by what he did, you know what I'm saying? And it was hard for me to deal with, it was hard for me to accept, you know. So basically I just made him feel guilty. I made him feel like he was obligated to me from that point on. He agreed with it. Me, and truthfully, I seen that as an opening for me to move in and turn him out. I started to put my plan into making. So I let him know that I want him to be with me. I let him know that I want to have sex with him. I let him know I want to lay with him.
So I came over there to that dorm the next day, been drinking, been smoking some reefer or whatever. And I go to my little brother's cell, or I call him my little brother, Mark. I go to his cell and he telling me, he running the whole story down to me what this person did. So after he run the whole story down to me, like I had his door, they have cells, I had his door crack, and I see him and I call him. I say, hey, I call him up there and he come up there. So when he get up in the cell, I'm really playing. I'm playing at first. I was playing. I was playing at first. So I asked him. I said, man, you know what you did could have got a lot of people messed up." So he like, "Yeah." I said, "What if we rape you right now? How will you like that?"
He started crying and begging and pleading. You know what I'm saying? Mark, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to. But at this time, you know what I'm saying, I'm out of control. I don't want to hear nothing, no talk.
So my little brother, he jump up and he slap